If anybody murders me, I press full charges.
Based on smell alone, I'm here for the Dickel. Welcome back to Nonsense and Nothingness, everybody.
And we're back.
Welcome back to the Nonsense. I am Connor.
And I'm the Nothingness. I am Seth.
And we're back for another week. Last week was a special week for us.
It was.
I would say.
It was our big reveal.
Yeah, episode 1 was published. This is episode 5?
I think, 5.
Yeah,
that's where we're at now.
This is episode 5 now, so we did a little bit of backlogging, just, for backlogging's sake. But it was a big week. We had a better response than we thought we would have. We were like, no one's going to listen to this at all. And we have a couple listeners, so that's really exciting for us.
That's amazing. We're so thankful for our listeners and everyone who took the time to
Bob,
go.
You're fabulous. We love you, Janet.
And Margaret and Betty, all of you out there.
Yeah, so we're pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped. I know you're hyped.
I'm very excited. I think it went over well. I think getting into the podcast production world, figuring out how to edit all that stuff is just good life knowledge in general too.
I agree. Obviously there's a lot of growing that we still have to do. There are some things on the channel that are going to change.
Right.
Just, growing pains, a couple things here and there, but for the most part, we're starting to hit our stride, maybe.
Yes. Not maybe. We definitely hit our stride. But one thing that's not going to go away anytime soon is our Whiskey of the Week. Our highest rated section of our podcast.
Most expensive part of the podcast.
Definitely expensive. I will say my roommate did have to sell his entire desk to buy us this whiskey today.
The episode is more or less sponsored this week by
my roommate Reed. And he recently sold our desk in the corner of our apartment because it's around that time where everyone's selling and moving.
It's around that time for selling desks in the corners.
For selling desks in the corners. It's that time of the year.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace, $25 later, and hey, we have a new bottle of whiskey.
A new bottle of whiskey. And this bottle of whiskey, Seth, you wanna introduce it for us?
I think I will. This is something that I've been looking at, and I've heard a lot about, seen people drink it, but I really wanted to get a taste for myself. This is George Dickel, Tennessee Sour Mash Whiskey, number 12.
So you may say we are drinking Reed's Dickel.
Number 12.
Number 12. So you don't call this Dickel whiskey?
I think people call it Dickel 12. Dickel number 12.
Dickel 12?
Dickel number 12.
I love that so much.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Tennessee sour mash. It's distilled at Cascade Hollow in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Tullahoma. And it's definitely a Tennessee whiskey because it is distilled and charcoal mellowed.
Ooh.
Right, which is very similar to another brand of Tennessee whiskey, Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels. We're going to have that one on the show soon.
Yeah, we are.
And I would love to do an episode where we compare all the Jack Daniels, like their low-end model to the low-end model. What is this, cars? Their low-end to
the base trim.
Jack. Yeah, exactly. Well, let's open this up and give it a
twist.
That cork is in there.
Well, takes some man strength.
There we
go.
Beautiful.
Pretty satisfying.
Yeah. All right. Tell me when.
Thank you.
All right.
That's a beautiful sound.
It really is. I hope you listeners back home in your den in front of your fireplace as you're pouring out your Dickel. Dickel 12.
Dickel number 12. Yeah.
Dickel number 12. I want to be correct here.
You need to be factually accurate. First smelling.
First of all, the smell is good.
I like it too. It's not as upfront as the Evan Black was in our first episode.
That is by far is our worst whiskey.
An instant replay from that one. Connor tried it, said it was a 4.5, and then over the podcast, progressively, the rating dropped and dropped and dropped.
When I first took a sip, I was like, that's pleasing. And by my last sip, I was like, it's not good.
Well, hopefully this will be a little bit better. It definitely smells higher quality, and I know that's kind of ephemeral and like hard to nail down. But
based on smell alone, I'm here for
like
the
a
Dickel,
decent whiskey.
So yeah.
Okay,
let's try it out.
Did you taste that sweetness?
Yeah.
It's kind of got a
Man.
punch at the end too. It's definitely sweet. Like it just hits the sweet palate.
Yeah, it's sweet, but it's good.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nicely balanced.
Because I mean, based on what we've been drinking so far in this show, I'd say Dickel is low middle price wise at what,
Yeah,
25.
25 is about what it retails for,
Because
which is similar to Jack Daniels.
yeah, our high end would be that Four Roses.
No, it's $40 a fifth, easy.
Monkey Shoulder is just behind that,
Mm-hmm.
and then that Texas whiskey is at like 30 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm happy with that. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
It definitely has kind of a punch at the end, though.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah, like you're drinking alcohol.
But sometimes you want to feel it.
But yeah, you mean obviously if you just drank if they took the alcohol out of whiskey, I wouldn't drink it. Yeah, Let me just put it that way.
I think you got louder when you took a sip, so I think this is exciting whiskey for Seth.
It is exciting. It also kind of hurt my throat a little bit.
So you were like, "Oh, this whiskey's delicious."
Oh, I'm sorry. We can fix that in editing.
No, it's great. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, let's give a beginning podcast rating and then an end podcast rating.
6.3.
I was gonna say 7, but okay, I get where you're coming from.
The reason that I'm there is it could grow on me. The finish, you talk about feeling it. The finish isn't smooth, but the initial bit, it's sweet. Mm-hmm. There's more going on than just alcohol taste, and so it's pretty good.
Definitely,
it's pretty good. I'd say it's roughly, I don't remember what I gave Monkey Shoulder. Even though they're totally different whiskeys, I probably enjoy them roughly the same.
I agree. I think this is a good, solid whiskey. I mean, if you're going to drink this on its own, it's not the worst thing, and not going to be the worst night if you're sitting here with a glass of Dickel.
Not the worst night with a glass of Dickel.
Glass of Dickel in your cup. Okay.
Oh man. All right. So, what are we talking about this week? We can move on from Dickel jokes.
They're so entertaining, though.
Yeah, they really are.
Let's see. What's been going on with you, Connor? Is there anything in particular in the world that is interesting you?
I'm interested in a few things.
Okay.
One thing that I have been pondering lately and thinking about is friendships and how you pick your friends and how they can affect you and why friendships exist. Because if you think about it, and this could be a really random trail that we're going down, but I find it to be interesting.
Okay.
Humans are one of the few species on this planet that form long-term friendships, you know?
Really? So no other animal species?
Well, I'm not saying no other, like monkeys do, right? Chimps. Dolphins do. Killer whales, orcas do. But we're talking, this is a higher intelligence thing. Is friendship. If you see most animals, so like lions, yes, they hang out together. Wolves, they hang out together, but that's more of a mechanism for safety and security versus friendship. You see what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. Like friendship not in the altruistic sense, but in the sense that it's not related to something concrete. Like you're doing friendships for the joy of being around other people.
Exactly. So, sure, wolves can be friends because if they're friends, they're more likely to eat. Sure, but it's not like they look at each other and they're like, "That's my friend," just because that's my friend. And I could be wrong about that, but I'm fairly confident.
Well, what do you think friendship is, Connor? Do you think it's something by itself, or do you think it's a mechanism in our brain where the endorphins release saying, okay, good, you've made a friend, this is better for your survival long term? Like, do you think it's based in evolutionary biology, or is it based in psychology and it's like a higher level mammal thing?
I mean, I would say it's an amalgamation of both things because it makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint to have friendships and have people you can trust. You know? Like that definitely makes sense. but also it's very clear that humans require interaction with other humans in order to be sane. You know,
That's a good point.
And so I think it's an amalgamation of an evolutionary need, but I think that was early on friendships, and that's more of a partnership. I think true friendship, is a psychological need more than an evolutional need. I think relationships are an evolutional need of, and not a like a romantic one or a friendship one. We work together in this relationship, this symbiotic relationship. I think that's the evolutionary level. I think that's where wolves and lions, pack animals, things like that are. I think friendship is a psychological need.
You know, I wonder what tribalism as a human faculty, like, I wonder where that fits in. Like, do you think our inherent want to fit into a tribe or a social group, do you think I feel like that's more evolutionary in its basis than just the social need and fulfillment of having friendships? I feel like those two things are quite different.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can be a part of a group and associate with a group, but have friends in completely different groups, or be friends with them for different reasons.
For sure. I think a group brings security, whereas individual relationships bring meaning. You know, so you can be part of this group. So I'm part of X group, and so that gives you a label, more or less, to be able to claim and say, I'm a part of that. I'm a part of something. That gives you security, right?
Right.
But you can be a part of that group, but not have a relationship with anybody. You can't have a relationship with the group. That doesn't exist. You can be a member of the group, and you have to form relationships within it.
Relationships do require individual people on both ends.
Yeah.
I think true, meaningful relationships do, at least.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. Do you think relationships can be formed without people-to-people interaction? Do you think relationships can be formed online?
Like via computer and stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of those hard things, because obviously from an evolutionary perspective, our bodies have not caught up to that, you know?
Okay.
At least I don't think. I mean, our brains might have, but the initial systems that were put into place for humans to exist and thrive were not accounting for computers, right? That's something that we made.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I think that you definitely can have a relationship, because a relationship, I don't think a relationship requires face-to-face interaction. But it requires investment. That's the key. Is if you're able to tell that someone is invested in you and you are invested in them, I think that's what constitutes a relationship. And I think you can do that through a screen. It might feel a little distant and a little more cold, but I would say that, yeah, I mean, but there's a difference between your Facebook friend that you never met. I mean, there are people that I follow on Instagram and that follow me on Instagram that if I saw them in person, I probably wouldn't know their name, you know?
Yeah, that's a harsh reality of our modern world.
Yeah, and that's just how that is. And so that, to me, that's what comes back to investment, because those people, yes, they are my Facebook friends, whatever, but we don't have a friendship, you know? So
okay,
that'd be my hot take on that.
So for you, what does it take to have a friendship? And we're talking about completely platonic relationships here, right?
For sure. We're not talking about romantic ones at this point, which I know is a requested topic. But anyway.
Really?
Yeah, how men approach relationships, our thoughts on those things, etc. I think that this podcast is an opportunity for women to be a fly on the wall. I really do.
That's interesting. Kind of like
us to open up the gates and just be like, here.
Be like, here's the reality.
Here's the reality. And I mean, obviously we're not speaking for all men, but I would say we have mildly valuable perspectives on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I know that is a requested topic, and you know, who knows? We might dive into that at some point. Maybe tonight.
Maybe after another Dickel or two.
Dick will make you do crazy things.
It will.
But what question of yours was I answering?
So what does it take to be? What are the requirements for a friendship?
Yeah, well, see, that's a hard thing because
it is.
Friendships are going to be different because you have male to male friendships, female to female friendships, and then male to female friendships. Even though there are people out there that argue men and women cannot be actual friends, because there's some element of someone's trying to have sex here to all those relationships, which I don't necessarily agree with.
I don't either. I think there are at least certain situations where that kind of thing is just not out on the mind.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty easy to find counterexamples, but I don't know. Maybe in general, but make some generalization like that. But
just throw a generalization out there and see what sticks.
Yeah.
See what sticks. But I would say that there are a couple principal things that a friendship requires. Obviously, you're gonna, if you can't stand that person, there's a degree of tolerance that needs to be had on both sides. Like if you don't like that person, obviously you're not gonna have a friendship there. But I think it all goes back to the key terms of investment, whatever that means for you. Investment of time, investment of energy, investment of, if someone's willing to invest in you, I think that you're developing a friendship there.
I'm going to throw something out there. I think friendships have a lot to do with comfort and predictability as well. Yeah. And I feel like that is built through a bond of common interests.
Yeah.
And with common interest, comes common values, and a lot of other things come with that. But how you start is with common interests, and from there, you can develop a level of I know how you're going to respond to this. I think I kind of know what's going on, and that kind of security allows you to talk freely to someone. Yeah. Allows you to not feel like you're up at arms or trying to impress people. And I think that's a real key to a friendship is not having this completely normal feeling of I have to put on my best face like all the time. I think that disarming nature of people, and that also goes to how I think some of the most friendly people, the people who have a lot of friends, are the most disarming.
Yeah.
The people who aren't going to challenge everything you say, the people who can listen well. These are all qualities that kind of accelerate that process. So that's kind of what I was hitting on. Is I think there's a big part of it is comfort, comfort, security, predictability. These things that maybe aren't the sexiest things to throw out there, but make a good friendship. And
also, what I've always found interesting, I can't quote this article or this study because I can't, but there supposedly a study was done that found that whether it's a completely platonic relationship, no one's you are friends with the people you are attracted to. Same sex, opposite sex, doesn't matter, whatever you're into.
Interesting.
You are friends with people that you find physically attractive in one way or another. Subconsciously, your mind does that. So I've always found that to be pretty interesting, because
there is this like attracts like thing.
Oh, for sure.
Right. There is this tendency of people to hang around people of the same same intellect, social status, whatever. People like to be around people who know what they're going through. Yeah. People who have similar experiences, and I think there are many explanations for this.
Yeah.
It is an interesting thing to think about, because in a perfect world, everyone would be friends. Like your friends would be a completely random amalgamation of the world. And
it doesn't work like that at all.
No, not even close.
And, you can see that that's not how it works. And I mean, it's built into our systems. It's built into us we are more trusting off the bat of people who are involved in the same things that we are involved in, are from the same places that we are from, that look like we do. I mean, right. That's just how the mind works. Because rewind a couple hundreds of thousands of years, if you're out in the back-ass forests of nowhere, you're going to be more likely to trust some sort of creature that looks like you than you are some sort of creature that looks different from you. And you see that in nature today, you know? So I think that that's something that's hardwired into our brains. But friendship is just super interesting from the sense that humans are one of the rare species that carries those long-term friendships oftentimes throughout life, but are technically not necessary for our success or our continuation in life.
Right. It's weird because you don't want to say survival.
Yeah.
Right. Because human interaction pretty much is a precursor for survival. I mean, there was that case of that crazy family who locked their kid in a closet for like 10 years and just fed it, and psychologists
That's awful.
It's horrible, but psychologists went crazy because
Psychologists
they really wanted to
yes!
study this girl. They're like, finally, a way to get around the ethics committees. But no, and what they found is that she was just completely incapable and of forming any kind of function in human society. Like speaking language was really tough for her. Understanding other people. I mean, there are a lot of mental faculties that you develop through social interaction, and in no way is it innate.
Yeah.
Right. So in your biology, in your genes, there's only so much you can get about how to function as a human, and the rest of it comes from
is learned in observation.
Learned, or heck, I don't know how the brain works. Maybe it's activated somehow by human interaction and the stress and all the, like, there's a lot of things associated with interaction that goes on biochemically in the brain. And I think one of the biggest things that modern science has kind of told me, as someone who's studying biochemistry a lot and looking at these topics, is that it's not all in the genetics. It's genetics and your environment, and how those two things coincide really affect who you are, relationships you make, stuff like that.
I read something, or I listened to something where if babies do not feel physical interaction, like skin on skin touching, their brain starts to freak out. They will develop like health issues, etc. Babies need to feel interaction. And so I think that that's just a very prime example of how humans are so limited in so many ways, and we have so much to learn about even ourselves, and why we're limited in these ways. And it's just super interesting.
Humanity's pretty interesting because it seems like the weakest point about humans is our biology. The fact,
I mean, humans are so weak,
frail.
We are so frail.
Yeah.
Like you're in the gym, you're in the mirror, you're like, man, I got these muscles. I'm an animal. I'm curling these 50-pound dumbbells right now. A bear will end you like that.
Yeah, no
like,
chance.
Like,
no chance.
No chance.
Even some like gorillas could absolutely just rip apart any human.
No problem. You are a game to them.
I mean, there are so many apex predators who could absolutely just wipe apart humans.
Alligators.
Tigers.
Dead. Tigers dead.
Even mountain lions in California.
Hippopotamuses. Is it hippopotami? Hippopotamuses.
Hippopotamus.
Those things are dangerous. So it's just,
it's amazing that we've survived.
It's amazing that we're alive. That somewhere down the line it was determined. Yeah, having a big brain
really helps.
Will really help you.
Yeah,
but it's
no, you're not kidding. And it's the development of our not the hindbrain, the forebrain, like the cerebrum, the part of our brain that goes with decision making, with emotions, with feelings. Things like that, higher level thinking, things we associate. Like if you look at the human brain versus other animals have 3 little lobes. The human brain has like a little lobe for our cerebellum, which is like balance, movement, like a little lobe for our midbrain, and then a massive forebrain that takes up 90% of our skull.
Yeah, it's it's crazy to think that we don't have fur, we don't have claws, we don't have any body armor.
Yeah, upper body strength pretty weak. Like apparently all we could do was jog back in the day.
We can we can go a decent distance.
We can just run for long distances. That's like our one trump card.
And I know throwing is a big thing. Being able to throw, because you could just pick, if anything's coming after you, if you have a group of people just throwing rocks at something, like it's going to run away. So I know from an evolutionary perspective, that was huge.
Opposable thumbs.
Yeah, that was huge. So, or, creationism. We were just born like this.
Well, lots of intelligent design theories and things like that. So
yeah, I personally am a person of faith. I think you would look around. It's hard for me to deny that something or someone didn't build this. It all seems very, very perfect.
What I have a problem with is when people think that religion and evolution are completely separate.
Yeah, no, I'm a Christian. I think it's totally possible that God was like, yeah, evolution makes sense. Let's make this happen.
I agree.
I think that could definitely happen. But I'm open to any theories out there. But I think evolution is our best one so far.
Yeah, I think evolution, it definitely explains the science. It explains a process.
Yeah.
But evolution offers no real answers about meaning or life or anything, and I don't think Charles Darwin wanted it to.
Yeah, he wasn't looking for that. He was trying to explain how did we get here, how we are, and how does what's around us get to be the way that it is.
Right.
And so, anyway, friendships.
Yeah.
Go make some friends out there. That's part of what this is about. Send us an email at nothingness at gmail.com. Maybe we can be friends. So, and I'll plug that at the end again. So,
yeah. Do you care about your survival? Get friends.
Yeah. I thought you were asking me that question. I was like, are you like about to try and kill me? Like, what's going on?
Stab.
Yeah. Ooh. Have you ever... I might be a little insane.
Okay.
Have you ever just been living your life, just walking around being like, someone could kill me right now and there's nothing I could do about it? We all have just this trust in one another that when you walk past that strange person, they're not just going to randomly pull a knife and shank your ass. Like we've all built that trust. But think about how easy it is in the day-to-day for someone to just off you. You're sitting in class, homie behind you gets angry and just dead. Do you ever think about that?
Connor, I do think about that. Every time someone walks behind me in the library, I immediately turn around.
Like, what's going on?
Who was that?
Yeah.
But what comforts me at night is watching live PD.
Oh, really?
Yes, because it amazes me what the cops can find and stop in forensic science and DNA editing and cameras.
Cameras are a beautiful thing.
Cameras will get you. So am I confident that somebody can kill me? Yes. Am I confident they will get found very quickly?
I don't care if I die. I just want that person to pay for it.
I mean, hell yeah. They're going to pay.
I care about both.
Hey, if anybody murders me, I press full charges.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
If you murder Seth, he's going to be pissed.
He's very pissed.
Yeah.
So, it is a concern, and it is amazing how fragile life is. But at the same time...
Day-to-day death is a concern. However,
day-to-day walking down the street is day-to-day going outside your house.
Dice. We're rolling the dice every day.
Think about cars. Think about
we
every
have
time
these
you get
giant
a car.
metal boxes moving at 70 miles per hour, and we're all like, this is okay.
This is normal.
This is normal.
It's not normal. It's not normal for people to fly down the road, being able to just slightly twitch their foot and then kill themselves. That's awful. The fact that just how much people die on the highways is ridiculous.
You sneeze at the wrong time, and
Did you know, Carter? Did you know that Highway 12? Okay, the reason they changed the medians is because Highway 12 had the most accidents per driver of any road north of Jackson.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Just because people were zooming in and out and there was no way of stopping them?
Because the turn lane in the middle was so ambiguous. People also would ride in the turn lane. Like when they're going into oncoming traffic, they would just hop in the turn lane and keep driving and try to merge. And if you do that, there's nothing to prevent someone coming the opposite way of wanting to turn left and hopping in the turn lane and smacking you in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's why we have those ugly medians in the road that prevent me from going to Taco Bell in one
You got a U-turn to get to Zaxby's. It's a bummer.
I've heard about that one. That's a big one.
I don't frequent Zaxby's that much. I know there's a big debate in just the chicken finger loving community between Zaxby's and Cane's.
Yeah, and now we have Slim Chickens.
Fuzakli's, Slim Chickens, all of those. Mm-hmm. I don't have a dog in this fight.
I will tell you, I did not have a dog until I figured out that Zaxby's has grilled chicken dinners.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No. But that makes sense. I feel like every chicken place should have a grilled option at this point.
Except for Cane's. I don't think Cane's does.
Really?
No, there's no chance. I don't think they have a grill. I think they have a fryer.
They have a fryer, and that's it.
They have 15 fryers.
That's hilarious. But anyway, how did we
go from death to the chicken finger battle?
That's hilarious. I don't know. That's why this show is fun for us to do. It takes you places. It takes you places you never thought you'd go.
So the chicken finger battle. It's a real thing.
It is a real thing. But I don't have an opinion on it. I don't have a dog in that fight.
Yeah.
You know?
I think all the chicken's about the same.
They're all pretty good. The sauces are what's different. That is where you'll get some differences.
Sauces, prices, fries. There are a lot of things to think about.
Yeah. Sauces are what matters, I think, in that game.
Well, then you would be a proponent of Slim Chickens because they have like all those crazy sauces.
Well, no, I don't think it's a number of sauces. I think it's quality. The taste and the quality.
Well, everyone has their house sauce. And it's their like cane sauce, Zaxby's
cane sauce is delicious, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
So it's comeback sauce, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And Cane's, of course, was started in Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
And
why do you know that?
Because I'm a knowledgeable man. I know things.
Okay.
It was started in Baton Rouge, and of course, down there they do it a little spicy. So
I'm listening.
Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with their sauce. Also, it's very like I think they make it.
Oh, for sure they
in
do.
The store and then put it in the little 2-ounce cups. Unlike Zaxby's, where it looks like it comes out of.
Why can't everywhere be like Chick-fil-A, and just be like, how many sauces do you want? And I could say 7, and they would give me 7.
You could say 23, and they just give you the box and be like, have a blessed day.
Yeah, and you say, thank you, and they would say, my pleasure. Why can't everywhere be like that? At Cane's, it's like, you want more sauce? Yeah, that'll be your left finger. I don't know which one's your left finger, but yeah.
It's because where else, Connor, do you pay $11 for a meal? You know,
a lot of places.
What other place?
I pay $11 for a meal at a lot of places.
Do you see what I mean? Though Chick-fil-A is obviously
it's an expensive fast food place.
I think it might be the most. If you like Zaxby's, Cane's, all those places, you know, they're kind of at a different. They're different than fast food places to me, because I'd say a majority of their sales come from inside, where I feel like Chick-fil-A makes a majority of their money through the drive-thru.
They do make a lot of money through that drive-thru.
They also serve breakfast, which is a big thing for fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Wendy's. No breakfast.
Did Wendy's breakfast die?
I think it used to be a thing nationally.
I think when McDonald's went breakfast 24/7, you know, that just
sealed the deal.
That sealed the deal.
McDonald's definitely has some dominance over the breakfast world.
They really do.
McCafe was a huge innovation.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I couldn't tell you the last time I was at a McDonald's. And I couldn't tell you when that was, but I could tell you the last time that I did eat McDonald's, I felt terrible. So bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Like, all I had was a McCafe caramel frappe.
Oh, Connor.
But also, you're drinking just so much sugar and so much.
You know the amount of syrup that's in that?
It's so bad.
Just nondescript flavored syrup.
It's so bad. Americans drink so many calories.
We do.
And they're empty calories. It's not good calories.
Absolutely. And that's why I don't drink calories. I drink only Coke Zero and water and alcohol. But that's different.
But that's different. It's for adults. Yeah, I don't drink soft drink. I don't really drink calories. If I drink calories, it's in beer or whiskey, typically.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, no, there's no other reason to. Drinking calories, like if you ever track your calories, you will stop drinking calories immediately.
Yeah.
If you open up a food diary and track, like if you're a regular Coke drinker and you drink, I don't know, 3-4 Cokes a day, the amount of sugar that you've just ingested in your body will shock you.
Yeah, it's like every day I'm consuming 3 to 5 times my daily sugar limit, and I'm drinking.
A single Coke is 46 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. You're supposed to have 25.
Oh, really? Goodness gracious.
So, rest in peace, Coke. Coke Minis is a good solution for those people.
But, I mean, you're drinking battery acid. You know, you're not drinking battery acid, but you're drinking.
It tastes a little better than battery acid.
I don't think Coke's going to sponsor us after this episode.
I don't think they were planning on.
Yeah. I mean, they might have been looking at us.
Yeah, they might have been one of our like 45 views. Coke official.
The Coke, yeah, exactly. You're listening to the official Coke podcast. We're gonna change our branding big time.
It is a problem. Drinking calories is a huge problem, especially when you look at fast food, because I feel like people are when the calorie numbers aren't on what you're eating. Okay, even if they're on the menu, nobody cares.
Mm-mm.
But when you have that Coke and you look and you can see the nutrition facts, I feel like people at least have a chance. But when you go to a gas station or a McDonald's and you order an extra large
32-ounce big slurp,
or even the sweet tea that they have,
that's a diabetes water.
Ooh, yeah, like you would need to take that with some insulin, probably.
Yeah,
it's
you can't
too
drink
much.
it. You can't drink it. And I don't know that if I have kids one day, you got to play that line of, if it becomes forbidden fruit, then it could become a problem
later in life.
Yeah, but also it's like, I don't want you to drink that. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I think you just got to get your kids hooked on something else. Like, just, hey, here's this amazing Icelandic water.
Isn't kale delicious?
No, that is a good question, though. Like, how are you going to handle...
My son is a kale addict.
Kale is disgusting. I'm going to go ahead and say that. If you've ever had just a piece of raw kale...
Oh, it's not good. You gotta massage it, doctor it up, do some work to it before if it's worth eating. It's after a lot of love and labor, for sure.
And I feel like a lot of the things you have to do to it are kind of the things that take away the purpose.
Yeah.
Like if you're drizzling bacon grease on your kale,
drizzle some bacon grease, smother it in 4 types of cheese, and bake it into pasta.
People do this with like Brussels sprouts all the time.
Yeah.
You know, bacon Brussels sprouts is an amazing like honey, bacon Brussels sprouts.
I think Brussels sprouts get hate, and it's not deserved.
I think they have a really interesting texture, and you can do a ton with them. I think it has to do with their shape.
Yeah.
That spherical cooking surface.
What is this, a ball? A vegetable ball?
It's a vegetable. Yeah. It's a vegetable sphere.
Yeah, exactly.
Eat this, son.
But I mean, you cut those things in half, you throw them on a pan, a little salt, pepper, olive oil, you just bake those things.
Yeah.
Where they're a little black on the edges. Delicious.
You could throw them on the grill. You could do a ton of things with them.
Yeah, I think they get hate. I think broccoli gets hate. I think it's just because people don't know what to do with it, you know? But you barely have to do anything, and I think simplicity is key with those things, especially when you want to keep them healthy as well.
Would you let your kid eat a school lunch?
No. It depends on where they go to school.
Yeah.
Depends on where they go to school.
Yeah, well, if they went to school or we went to school, then it would kind of be up to them to make a right decision.
It would be,
if they went to school where I went to elementary school, I'm not going to throw out a name, but some of the public schools, the school lunches are horrendous.
Yeah.
As in, you get like a milk that may or may not be frozen, and chunky frozen milk is awful. like a slice of pizza.
Chunky. Here's your milk slushy for lunch.
That happened to me when I was a kid, and ever since then, I stopped drinking milk for a long time.
Man.
I just got this chunky, spoiled milk.
Oh, gosh.
And it was awful.
Just flopping out of the carton. Just, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, you open it up and it explodes because the ice is a greater volume than
expanded.
the liquid, and it's a disaster.
Yeah. Jeez.
So ever since then, I would get like the chocolate milk or the strawberry milk and then trade it away for more chicken nuggets or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm making my kids lunch. That's for sure. I just have no faith in the public school system to feed my kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I'm sure that statement would probably make some enemies, but
I mean, by whom?
I don't know. I'm sure there's someone in the public school system.
I mean, like, teaching kids is
like,
different.
you don't know the full story. You don't know how hard it is.
I mean, I'm sure. And these schools also, by the way, really support you getting a lunch plan because it helps the school out. And,
yeah.
You know, maybe I'd do something like that, but I just, as far as nutritionally sound food,
yeah,
even with the Michelle Obama stuff, it's still, you're way better off just making your kid a food.
I think I feel as though recently we have learned just how important what you are eating is to your overall health.
Are you talking specifically about the microbiome stuff?
Well, I'm talking about just across the board. Yes, all the way from microbiome just to day-to-day nutrition. If you drink 2 liters of Coke a day, you're gonna die. Like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, we're all gonna die, but you're gonna die earlier.
Like 2 liters of Coke a day is a lot, but I understand.
But I think recently it has become very popular to be very conscious about where your food is coming from and what you're consuming. Sure, you can get full on Doritos, Mountain Dew, and Oreos, but that's not fuel. That's not food. That's not food. It's something you can consume, but it's not food.
I definitely think that we have the ability now, and more information is out there than ever, to understand what we're eating. Because I feel like if people had like a concept of what it takes to make some of these foods and what is actually in it, what the macros, the micros, what all these little pieces of food say, and like how that relates to their body chemistry, I think people would eat very differently. But the fact that information is out there and there are apps that you can use to track this stuff, and people are super conscious about getting their vitamins in. Cleanses happen all the time, which are total BS, but that's different. People are just more conscious, and I think it's a good movement. I appreciate, even though it can be taken to some extremes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's definitely a sect of people that are more conscious, but I also think we're still at a place in the majority of America is looking for something that tastes good and is quick. And I think that eventually we're going to move past that, but
this could also be solved by simply saying, okay, hey, we have this restaurant where it's quick, easy, and healthy. Like, how hard is it? How competing are cheap foods and healthy foods? I think that's something that maybe could be addressed more than, okay, let's just stop people from going to McDonald's.
I'm not looking at people to stop going to McDonald's. I'm all about a healthy balance for sure. And there are healthy options at McDonald's, even though you need to be conscious of some of those salads. Some of those salads are like 1,800 calories, just because of what they put in it. But there are healthy options there. I just think that there's still a large portion of humanity that doesn't know. That just doesn't know.
See, I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like people, I mean, yeah, there's a small proportion of the population that doesn't just have the knowledge, but at the same time, we've spent billions educating kids on the food pyramid,
nutrition. But the food pyramid was BS for a long time. You need your dairy, you would be totally fine if you never drank milk ever. You know?
Yeah. Evolutionarily, like we're supposed to move past it. We just haven't, because basically, and we learned about this in human genetics. Basically, white people kind of miss that gene
Yeah.
change. And we, like, normally you're supposed to get rid of the lactose gene and everyone's supposed to be lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
But we apparently, as in
There was
like
a mutation.
Northern Europeans didn't get that mutation, or they reverted back to it.
And I mean, in early humanity's history,
it helped a lot.
Because there's
Milk
only
is nutritious.
there's so many avenues for you to get your calorie count each day.
Right.
And when you can drink milk,
it's a benefit.
And
it's a net benefit.
Yeah,
you can drink cow's milk. That's amazing nutrition.
Yeah. So,
but now it's unnecessary.
Exactly, it's not necessary, and so I just think that there are a lot of people out there who that's why I say there's a sect. I think that it's a case of the small but persistent minority of.
Okay.
I think I really do. I could be wrong about this, but I think really a minority of people are truly conscious about their health.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think the vast majority of people know it's important to be healthy, but they think that, well, if I eat 3 square meals a day, that's healthy for me, and if I, don't eat too much fat, that's healthy for me, or etc. And I don't think that everybody has a true understanding, and I don't have a true understanding. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all of health gurus at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. But I think the majority of people aren't super, super, super concerned about it until there's a problem in their health that they see. And I think that's why America is as fat as it is. I think that's why there's as much diabetes as there is. It's because of our diets and what we're eating. Bottom line.
Coronary artery disease,
Yeah.
heart disease, a lot of things that we have disproportionately large amounts of. But an interesting fact, if you take away car crashes and homicides, our death rates are actually pretty in line with the rest of the world.
We kill each other and we get in car wrecks.
Yeah, that's
America. But that's just because our car ownership rate is so much higher than the rest of the world.
Yeah, well, you have to. You have to in this country.
Because
there's public transit without a car going to different states.
And in the majority, because America is so big,
mm-hmm.
and because in the majority of states, the public transit infrastructure is not good at all, you have to.
Yeah, in fact, there's almost no public transit besides, like, there's Amtrak and planes.
And planes are stupid expensive.
And Uber.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, like, if you just want to go to the next state over, you can just drive.
Yeah,
and that's the beauty of it.
Exactly.
But the fact that if you drive 2 hours in Europe, you'll end up 3 countries over, right? Whereas if you drive 3 hours from here, you'll end up in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's just a different experience.
Yeah.
It's just a different experience. I really wonder what life would look like if I was born in a different country outside of America. I try and pick myself up and put myself somewhere else, and that's always a weird thought experiment. Of
different cultures value different, like, countries value different things, and I feel like it would totally shift your perspective on life.
Oh, for sure. I think that there's something to be said about growing up in a country where, from the time you're able to understand the language you're inundated with, you live in the best place on earth. And then there's also, this is the worst country ever.
Yeah,
and it comes from both ways, and it's just weird. And you're either on the side of the fence where it's like, America is awesome always, or
America sucks and it hates everybody that lives in it.
Which is crazy. We live in the best time that you could ever live ever.
Yeah.
There is less war, there is less sickness, there is less hunger, there is less of pretty much every bad thing out there. And sure, shit happens and it gets real sometimes and it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that. And sure, yes, we've got climate change and there's some weird weather stuff happening and wars are a thing.
It's not like we're not going to have challenges. It's not like that, but the challenge is not, okay, how do we stop kids from dying at 1 day old?
Yeah.
It's no longer, like, child mortality rates are so low. It's no longer, okay, how do we stop our people from getting, like, murdered by I don't know. It's the problems we're getting.
Random situational example.
I was gonna say lions or tigers or something, but we don't have any of those here.
The lions are running through the streets of New York and they're snatching up your children.
Yeah, or even huge diseases like smallpox, the influenza of 1912, things like that.
But stuff starts coming back because of these anti-vaxxers, and that's a whole different shindig.
It's a whole different ball game.
That's a whole different shindig. But you kiddos are a problem.
The point is, we've solved a lot of these problems, as in to the extent that we can without going crazy, like authoritarian, just doing everything for people. We've solved them. Mm-hmm. So now we're dealing with problems like, okay, well, wage prices are only growing marginally, or I don't know, unemployment is at 4%.
Yeah. Or, Or at some point, this planet's gonna die millions and millions of years from now. So let's try and terraform another one.
Yeah. Or USA's education is only 17th in the world. Got to totally overhaul that.
But that is crazy, the fact how much money we pour into that, and it is only 17th in the world.
Yeah, no, that's
because
it's interesting.
I know for Mississippi specifically, Seth and I, very fortunate, very blessed, went to a private school that was a really great school in a lot of ways. But I think Mississippi paid what we paid to go to school there. Mississippi paid, I think, $2,000 under per student. Mm-hmm. And our education system in Mississippi is real bad.
Yeah,
real bad. We're bottom of the barrel besides like DC, right? Isn't DC really bad?
I think so.
I think DC,
you're right on
at
that
least
one.
At one point, was the worst in our nation's capital. Was the worst education system in America, test scores wise. I'm not an expert on this, believe it or not. I am 21 years old in college and studying engineering. I don't know really anything about education, but
yeah. So I mean, the education system. It's interesting. Obama's last act as president was to basically get rid of No Child Left Behind, and with it went Common Core.
Yeah.
National standards was kind of a big failure and big pain in the butt for a lot of teachers. But at the same time, we have a strong and thriving teachers union that gets decent benefits, and they could always be paid a little more, sure.
For sure.
And teachers could be looked at higher in our society. In other cultures they're looked at like doctors and lawyers are.
I think teachers are looked down upon in a lot of instances in America, and I personally think it's a problem.
It is a problem.
It's a cultural issue.
It's a cultural one. It's not, okay, how much more money can we throw at this problem?
Yeah.
Because I think we're kind of at the end of our barrel in
money-wise, yeah.
Well, money-wise, but also in okay, how much more money are we gonna spend? Our private school spends X amount for us, and apparently it's only $2,000 less that Mississippi pays to educate a person. And, we went to one of the better schools in the state, and most of the public schools can't even touch that. And it's sad. It really is. But I think there are deeper problems with the education system.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about something fun, Seth.
For our final yeah, let's talk about it. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I was just kind of going to throw that ball up to you and see what you came up with.
So my friends want me to go camping. Okay. What do you know about camping?
Where are you going to go camping? Because the location changes everything. Are you just going in your backyard, or what's
just a little backyard cookout?
What's the move here?
No, I don't know. Bama, in the mountains.
Okay, in the Bamanese mountains.
Yeah, somewhere over there. But I wanted to hear what you think you need to have a successful camping trip. Is glamping? Is that can we do that and be respected still, or probably not? What do you?
Well, I think if you want to camp and really do it
right.
Yeah, you do. You have a flint and steel. You need that.
Oh my god, this better not be some Survivor Man shit.
No, you have a flint and steel, you have a tent, and you have some food.
And that's it.
And water, and that's it. You don't bring your generator. You don't bring you might bring a power bank for your phone so that you're able to navigate if you get lost. I mean, that's important. But I think that also if I go and have an outdoorsy experience,
right.
It's been a long time since I've had a real one. But I want to disconnect in every way possible. So I want to like turn my phone off, put it in an obscure place in my backpack that I don't have to look at unless I'm in trouble or just at the end of the day to update myself on things, which I wish I didn't even do that, you know. But I think you can glamorously camp if you want to, but I think that's more of a let me go make myself a little more uncomfortable for a day for no real added experiential benefit.
Connor, I want to go out there with a knife and just see what I can make. You know, I want to make myself like a little fishing pole and little A-frame and a fire with me and my knife and just do it. That's what I want. I want to do nature.
And FSU, you know?
Yeah. So, you know, I wanted to ask you about this because I wanted to see what you think about nature in general. I mean, I really like it.
I hate nature in general.
I really
we
like
should
nature.
Burn it all.
Nature's
no.
amazing. I don't know if you had any fun experiences hiking or anything like that.
I'll say if I could drop everything now and just go live in Montana, I might. I really might. At this point,
is Montana specifically where you're thinking?
Montana, Wyoming,
just wide open.
I like
spaces, big sky,
just big sky, giant mountains. There's land there that humans have barely touched. You know, just because it's so away. So if I could do that, I would love to. Where I feel, I think that humans we're meant to be in tune with the world around us, and we have built our comfortable houses, which I'm all for. Love a good house. Right. And we've built our cities, and we wear our ties and go to work, etc. And you become disconnected from what it truly means to be living and alive. And I think there's a couple ways to experience that, obviously through relationships and people and friendships. Man, we're coming full circle here.
Yeah. Friendships. There it is again.
But also to go and experience something in the world that is not a day-to-day experience and that is truly primal, you know, breathe the fresh air, see the water falling down the rocks and the power. There's something valuable in feeling small. You know, I think we in America are told day to day, wake up, you're in charge, you're the badass, take control, do your thing, etc. And that's great. That's important. I'm all about that. But also, a healthy dose of humility is key. And I think one of the easiest ways to get that is also valuable is to go and look at what's around you. And not something that humans built.
Right.
Because there's some super cool stuff that humans have built, and even if I had no hand in it, there's ego tied to that. Humanity is awesome. We built this giant building, and it's super cool. And we bent the world to our will and what we wanted. But when you go to a raw place, it's a different kind of experience, and it's a great thing. And I'm not speaking from a ton of experience. A little bit, but not a ton. I want a lot more.
I think there's something to be said about taming nature. I think taming nature is something that is innately human, innately desirable, innately fulfilling. And I think what our society kind of has largely become now is taming the tamed nature. Because we kind of live in our society of taking things that have been taken from nature from other people. And you don't get the same fulfillment. But what I would like to do is be able to have a home that can run by itself, that I can go, you know, I enjoy planting for some reason. Like, when, at the Boys and Girls Club, me and my mentee, we redid the whole garden back there in the backyard, and we planted some winter vegetables and stuff. And I really like planting. I really like agriculture. I really like the idea of making an environment, an ecosystem, turning that into something like developing populations, ecology, things that just get you 1 degree removed from nature is where I want to be in life.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said to that. I think gardening has these weird connotations in our culture of like it's for old ladies and it's weird and you get dirty and it's not fun. But if you actually do it, it's so satisfying to be able to look back at what you did and say, I planted that and it's growing and it's,
it's growing because I did it.
Because I did it. If I didn't do that, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah. I think that relationship also it manifests itself weirdly with people, and like I'm thinking grease monkeys that like to work on cars.
Oh yeah.
Like I know it's kind of more removed from nature than most people would like it to be, but it's the similar thing where like this car would not run if I didn't do something to it.
Yeah. It's that element of creation. I think humans on our most base level of desire, we want to be building something.
Right.
Whether it's ourselves and we're trying to get better at something, which we've talked about and we both personally believe you should be trying to get better at something every single day. Whether it's we're trying to build friendships and relationships, we're trying to create a garden, create a company, create this podcast, whatever it might be. I think all of that ties into the human desire to feel as though they're adding something to this world in a capacity that matters. And I think whenever you're doing something like gardening, you can look at that and say, that's life. And as far as we know, right now, Earth is the only planet that's got that going. And this is something that's special,
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And I think you get that same feeling in nature of nowhere else in the universe can I stand on this mountaintop and look over all of this and realize that I'm a speck of dust, but I can cultivate life and I can cultivate relationships and I can cultivate friendships and things that matter. Even though they may not last forever, they do have an impact on this experience that we're having every day,
Well, Connor, that was a beautiful monologue.
Yeah.
We might have to
went off there.
We might have to just end it there.
Yeah, we might. But I had a great time, as we typically do.
It was a wonderful time. Wait,
we'll revisit the Dickel real quick.
Yeah, right back to the Dickel.
I would say 6.8.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
it moved back up. I put some rocks on it.
Yeah.
I didn't acknowledge that, but I'm sure you heard it in the podcast. A little bit of
rock action.
A little bit of rock action.
The rock.
And it mellowed the finish a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still got the initial flavor. So I liked it. A solid 6.8.
I'm going to stick with a 7. I really enjoyed it the whole way through. It didn't change much on me. Pretty consistent. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good pickup.
Yeah, the Dickel was good. But couple things. One, send us an email at the word nonsense, then a capital N, then the word nothingness at gmail.com. Join the conversation. Like we always say, we're going to respond to you. At least right now we will.
That's correct. This is your chance to get something answered.
Yeah, this is your chance. So that, and then also we are going to be creating an Instagram account. We're going to be posting our whiskeys of the week there, so you can pick it up and enjoy it with us. So you can follow us there. Search Nonsense and Nothingness.
I'm sure it'll come up.
And it'll come up. It's there. But thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
And don't forget to be nothing.
That's so dumb.